I'm Alessandra Barrett, Senior Content Editor for JOC. I'm at our 2019 TPM conference with John Slangerup, Chairman and CEO of AGL. Great to see you, John.
Hey, great to be here again.
With ocean carriers and technology companies both expanding their services, what do you think the future is for 3PLs?
Well, it's interesting because, freight forwarding businesses has always kind of had a comfortable relationship, certainly with the ocean carriers, very cooperative. Technology is driving a tremendous amount of change, so that's kind of the common denominator in all aspects of the business. So you're seeing an integration of a lot of these things. Do I think that the 3PLs like the fact that ocean carriers are starting to go down market and encroach upon the traditional freight forwarding market? Probably not, but it's reality. And so what you have to do is you have to really focus on what differentiates you as a company against the big combinations that are beginning to occur. And I think there's both advantage and disadvantage in that, obviously. For us, being agile, being flexible, having a really great value proposition, it becomes more and more important. And so driving change within our industry, I see a lot of broken glass beginning to happen, relationships, trust. A lot of this movement of goods is all around trusting your partners. And when you start to see people encroaching on different people's spaces, that trust starts to get frayed a little bit. So I'm a little concerned about that, but it's happened in all industries, it happens all the time, and we learn to play.
Trust is at the root of a lot of the visibility questions and sort of the concerns there. What are your thoughts on the balance between visibility and competitiveness when it comes to pricing?
Well, pricing, it's an environment where it's always been a driver. The thing that always comes into play is if you have competitive pricing, can you also sell value? And to me, what's happening in the industry is on an increasing basis, companies are able to add value to what they're offering beyond just a competitive price, moving A to B or A to B to C, whatever. But the bottom line is we seek out opportunities with our customers who really are looking to solve a broad problem within their supply chain. And so we focus in on adding value from mapping their supply chain, applying specific technology solutions, and more importantly, having competitive pricing that goes with it. So the combination of competitive price with value adds is really what this industry is built on. And the companies that are the best at that are the ones that are thriving.
What has been the biggest change to the relationships between BCO and railroader and ocean carrier and drayage provider?
Right now it's interesting because I particularly the BCO and the ocean carrier relationships have always been based on a tremendous amount of trust and cooperation and contracts and agreements and, living up to those agreements. A lot of that in the last couple of years has been fractured. And so I think trust is a question. Trust is an issue that can we put that genie back in the bottle as an industry? Because you can't sign onto a contract and then 3 months later basically change all the rules of the contract. You have to be good to your word. And so I see that as a kind of an underlying angst within the industry right now that we got to get past. And I think that those relationships between those two major players, the BCOs and the ocean carriers, of course, control the vast majority of all the activity going on. And then you take it to the trucking side. Trucking is evolving rapidly as well. Those relationships are also critically important, but I see that the trucking side is working itself out of this. I think we've gone through that hit. I think that the way prices are rising, wages are rising, will make trucking a more desirable profession going forward. I think the technology within the cab is changing things, making things more exciting, attracting a different type of individual. So trucking will solve itself. I think rail is rail. I think it's always been very efficient, extremely well focused on technology. And I think the combination of the various modes of transport are revolving around how do we really get to the point of having transparent communications. And that is the ticket to ride, because today no matter how much people talk and hype about all the technology happening and the transparency and end-to-end visibility and all the rest, it does boil down to, do I trust you to share information with? And so we'll see how that all shapes up, but it is a big barrier to true transparency and visibility in the supply chain. And we're working very hard with our partners and our customers to make sure that's not a barrier for our part of the business.
Thanks for taking time to sit down with me today, John.
Oh, it's good to be here. Thanks.
I've been speaking with John Slangerup, Chairman and CEO of AGL.